Rob, does the OCC even have the authority to break up a bank?
Well, that's a really good question. And could they do it unilaterally? One of the interesting things is he had a step before breaking up forcing divestitures, and that step was putting growth limits on a bank. And everyone's like, well, look, there are growth limits on Wells Fargo right now. And that's true, but they are not growth limits put in place by the OCC. They're put in place by the Fed. The Fed was the one who imposed that restriction. The OCC did not. So the question is, yes, I think they do have power to do things like growth limits. Divestitures is a whole untested area. And then we're going to get into, post Dodd-Frank coming down to, what kind of shape is the bank in? If the bank poses a systemic threat, that is, its failure could cause a domino effect that takes out a bunch of other banks, then absolutely, I think there's a pretty good sense that regulators have the power to force divestitures to prevent that, particularly through the living will process that gives the FDIC and the Fed a lot of leeway. I don't know that it gives the OCC a lot of leeway. So what's interesting there is the OCC probably could do something, but it would have to be working with other regulators. And that's in a case where there's a systemic threat. If it's a case like now where there's a one-off event or a series of one-off events that indicates a bank is just keeps stepping into it because of a series of, internal control issues and the like, let's put it this way. I think that would be challenged in court. Could the OCC do it? I don't know. Lawyers can hash that out and the courts could hash that out. But I think they'd have a fight on their hands. There's no doubt about that. Whereas in a systemic event, I think it'd be a little bit more clear, or at least it'd be easier for the regulators to act. In this kind of environment, I think they would face some serious blowback and lawsuits.